I would define Macbeth and Lady Macbeth's relationship as one which is, I think they love each other very much, but I think they've been through some things together in the past. I think, they allude in the script to a child that was lost, so a dead baby. That's an obviously incredibly traumatic thing for a couple to go through. But I think that sort of throughout the rehearsal process, we've sort of established a relation. I think it makes a more interesting dramatic story if they have a loving relationship which crumbles.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. It's, if they don't love each other at the start, when you first sort of see them together in that first scene, then it goes for nothing as it sort of falls apart. It's much more dramatically interesting to see two people that have a connection, that have a goal, which then rips them apart, and to have that sort of, all the sinews of love and the want of power and the sort of the teamwork that they use to do a horrible act essentially, but it's still them as very much as a team, and to see that sort of team start to fragment as the play goes on. So I think it has to start from a place of love with them.
Yeah.
And you're right about this sort of the lost child, which is alluded to. We know Macduff later says he has no children, so we know we have no children, but Lady Macbeth says, I've breastfed, essentially.
Yeah.
So, we've got to assume...
how tender it is to love the child that milks me.
Yeah. So their relationship is, I think, a loving one, which then fragments, and we see it in scenes, don't we? The sort of, in the version that we did, I think the real sort of big fragmentation comes at the end of the banquet scene, where before then there's still a sort of, Lady Macbeth is still there with him, but is worried, I think. But at the end of that, we played it that there's, he says, "Come, we'll go to sleep." And Lady Macbeth does not walk off with him, I think, for the first.
I think that's especially when she kind of twigs that he's killed Banquo. I mean, first he went off-piste when he killed the grooms, but I think she can kind of understand that. He's just killed Duncan. He was really scared. It's not ideal, but he's done it anyway. I can still love him, but I think with the Banquo thing, and especially knowing that Banquo's got a child, and if they've lost a child, like knowing, assuming, she knows that he's anxious about the fact that Banquo is going to be, is going to hail a line of kings. He's probably gone after the son as well, and the idea that he's gone to try and kill a child, I think, is incredibly difficult for her to process. But yeah, I think that kind of, basically, ultimately, sort of I like the idea that the persuasion of Macbeth is that she genuinely thinks it's something that's going to be good for them, that's going to be it's going to make them happy, and they've been through so many times of not having happiness, that when she kind of sees this glimmer of hope, she really fights for it, and she thinks this could be the thing, this could be the replacement, this could be our baby, we can work towards this together.
Yeah, it's filling a hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a point we talked about as well, filling a hole between them of, this sort of loss that they've had, and trying to sort of, get something that they can both grip onto and aim for.
But it sort of ultimately splinters their shared identity, but also their own identities.
Yeah, nice quote.
Thanks.